All right, guys, welcome back to episode 14 of the, what's the name of the podcast again? Consistently Inconsistent. Forgot the name of the podcast. But anyways, I'm joined here by Sanne Rozema.
Hi, guys.
She's a classmate of mine, which
Former
classmate of mine.
Classmate.
We met last year, and we went to a trip on a trip to Croatia last year.
Yeah.
Which was fun for a week, even though I was drunk most of the time.
You were drunk on the plane, like on the way there already.
That was so bad. I regret doing that so much.
Did you have to pay for the bed you broke?
No.
That's nice.
Has anyone ever actually told you the story of like when I was there? No, they probably did tell you at dinner, right?
I'm not sure actually.
Like,
I've heard some things, but I'm not sure if that's like the story.
Okay, so because I don't know because I blacked out. So like we were in the van, and I continued drinking, which was such a stupid idea. I shouldn't. The whole thing I shouldn't have done. But anyways, it happened. So, and there was like a guy sitting next to me in the taxi or van or whatever. And I was like, "Oh man, do you want a drink?" So he started taking a couple of sips. Next thing I know.
Did you know him?
No, but it was one of the guys in the class, but I just didn't know him at the time. So it was I was just talking to a random guy. So.
But it's nice though. To talk to new people.
Yeah, it was nice, but it was a bad first impression. You don't want to be handing a person a bottle of Scotch whiskey the first time you meet them.
Well, that's not the way I'd go about it, but no, it's not a good impression. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, but so then so we got to the place or the area, and then we got out, and I think it was Marijke. She was giving us like this information, and I kind of woke up because I like blacked out like at this point, so I like woke up and I was like kind of conscious, so I was like, what the fuck is going on? I like step out of the car, and I'm just like rocking back and forth, like going like this. And Marijke's just looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then we walked to our apartment. Did you go to our apartment?
No, I'd never been there.
Really? You didn't? Oh yeah, you didn't come.
No.
But it was only Jacqueline and Jaren who came. Actually, let me ask you a question.
Oh god.
What the fuck did you and Tonya do the whole time? Because you guys were like...
sleeping, like mostly. I was like dead ass tired because I was in Croatia for a week already. And we did like so much stuff in the first week because I was with a friend of mine, so I was like sleeping most of the time, honestly. I kind of regret that because I wanted to like do more. But on the other hand, I did have a fun time, so it was nice, but it wasn't as nice as I had wanted it to be.
Yeah. I mean, it also wasn't as nice as I wanted it to be, so...
Because you were drunk like all the time.
Not all the time, but the beginning part was really bad because I started running out of money towards the end of the trip. So
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, that was
yeah, I heard that.
Wait, how did you hear that?
People told me.
What, that I ran out of money?
That you were pretty much broke.
Yeah.
That you like couldn't pay for dinner anymore.
No, but yeah, that week was not great. Yeah. So then, where was I?
You gave like a guy you didn't know something to drink.
Oh yeah. So then the Marijke part. So then we walked to our apartment thing, and we had to like check in, right? Because it was like an Airbnb or something.
Yeah.
And I was just like drunk as fuck, standing in the room with the lady, like the landlord, and it was like a Norwegian embassy or Norwegian consultancy something.
Oh really? Okay, yeah.
So it was like really prestigious, and I was just drunk as fuck, like banging my suitcase against like the drawers and shit like that, which I obviously don't remember. Apparently Jesper and Constantine told me I started like spitting on the floor, which is not great because they were like, yeah, we were about to punch you like 5 times at least. And then we finally got into an apartment, and then I just passed out, and then I like fucked up my nose, and then they had to roll me on the couch. So that wasn't a great experience, but
yeah, I heard that they were like pretty pissed at you, but I didn't really know why, or I just don't remember. That's also an option, but yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I'm happy that they didn't do anything because I would have felt that the next morning. Well, I did feel it the next morning. It was,
Yeah.
okay. So we also. Oh yeah. Introduce yourself a little bit.
That's probably, now.
Yeah, now.
Great time. My name's Sanne. I'm 18 years old. What should I tell? What's interesting to know about me?
Well, okay, because like a lot of people, like, because I also have people from America who listen to this in a couple other countries.
Yeah.
So, how did you get to Leeuwarden, or at least Stenden? Like, why did you choose that specific?
Well, when I was in high school, I kind of wanted to do something with international business, which is also why I chose this course. But this course was also in Groningen, and I kind of liked the school of Groningen more, but I wanted to live at home.
Yeah.
But Groningen is like quite far away from me because I used to live in Akron. Now I live here, of course, but. Well, in high school we had some trips to the school of Groningen, also like concerning the international business program there, and I really fucking hated that guy that presented it.
Wait,
I really fucking hated that guy.
Why?
I don't know, he was just an asshole.
Well, how can a guy be an asshole? Normally I consider a guide like a bitch, like, because like people who guide you around are like how do you say, like they're acting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he wasn't like guiding us around with the course I was following in high school, because I did like some sort of extra course next to like my regular high school thing. We also had some introductions at NHL Stenden and also at the Hanse University, and we had some like programs there and some classes as well. So it was more like an actual teacher standing in front of you, and he was just, there was like a lot of like stuff between like Frisian and the Groningen part, and he was like so full on about it, always hating on everyone who's like from the Frisian part of the Netherlands. And I don't know, just the way he handled it all, it was like, it was annoying. It was really annoying.
Do you consider yourself like a big Frisian, or like a Frisian at heart?
I don't know. In some way I kind of do, because I do think like the language and like keeping a language is important, but I'm not gonna make a big fuss out of it if people are like, oh, Frisian's like a bad thing. I mean, that's your opinion, and I feel differently about it, but I'm not gonna be a bitch about it. So I think Stefan is like a Frisian at heart.
Yeah, like.
But I'm not like that.
Okay, but you still respect that part of you, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, I do respect that, but I'm not like, that's the bigger part of me.
Yeah. Okay. You don't. There's a term for that. You don't like lean into it. Like you just kind of go with it. Like,
yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm happy with it, and I also think it can be a benefit if you want to work in like this part of the Netherlands. But if I weren't like Frisian,
I mean, for the rest, it doesn't really matter.
I wouldn't really be bothered about it.
There's only one province where being Frisian matters. So.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. It's not like that big of a deal to me. It's important, but it's not like the main factor. I don't feel like more Frisian than like a Dutch person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me it's a little bit different, but I think I kind of know what you probably mean.
Do you feel like you're an American or a Dutch person?
Here, I feel American.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, because we speak, like, I mean, we're speaking English now. Like, if we speak Dutch, that would go terribly wrong.
You were once fussing about a test, like first in Dutch, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, fuck, no, I can't do this in Dutch, I'm gonna go for English. Do you remember that?
No.
It's like last year we had a test, and you were like really annoyed by the way they built that test with like the sentence structure, and we were talking in Dutch about it, and then you got really annoyed at the test, and you're like, no, fuck this, I gotta speak in English.
Yeah. But yeah, so I consider myself American here, as well as the fact that people perceive me as an American. Yeah. Like, I mean, do you consider me Dutch?
Well, I think there's like Dutch roots because you speak Dutch like a little bit, but I think you're more of an American.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I mean. Like, people here, like they hear me speak, as well as the way that like I act. It's like more American.
Mm-hmm.
But in the U.S., I'm considered like the foreign boy, like the Dutch
really?
boy. Yeah. So I don't have like a, how do you say? Like whichever country I go to, I'm never that kind. Like I'm always the other thing. I'm never that.
Yeah, I get that.
Which I think is really weird.
Yeah. Where do you feel most at home?
It sounds weird, but here.
Why?
Well, I think it's mainly because I live by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I enjoy that aspect about it. Also because how do you say? The people in America, they don't, how do you say? They don't really understand the things that I'm interested in. Like they have their interests and people have their interests here as well, but I think here it's a lot easier to find people that kind of think or are interested in the things that I'm also interested in.
Yeah.
So I hear the people make it feel more at home than in America, which sounds weird because I've lived in America for 15 years. So
yeah, that's why.
I would expect my answer to be America as well, but since coming here, I find it way better than if I lived in America. So.
I mean, that's a good thing though. Then you found the place where you fit in, right? Sort of.
I wouldn't consider that I've found my place because I wouldn't live in Leeuwarden, not.
No, I get that.
For throughout my life, I would, at a certain point, I'd probably move back to America, but I would do it on my own accord. I would do it so that I'm it's for a job offer or something like that. It's something that I want to do, not something that I'm just oh, I'm just gonna go back to America. I think that would be boring. Plus, if you go to America, you need a purpose. If you're going to America, you don't just go. You need to have a purpose in order to go there. That didn't make sense, but it was fine.
Not really, but that's okay. Nice, yeah. But are you going to America for your internship then? Or for exchange, or?
No. Internship, I'm still debating on the study abroad or the internship. I'm still debating. I think for the internship, I should do it in Europe. And for the study abroad, maybe Asia. I think Asia would be interesting because that's where all the shit's happening.
True.
So, and what about you?
I want to go to Japan.
You want to Japan?
Yes.
Oh yeah, and then okay.
Why that response?
No, because Tanya always talks about going to Korea.
Yeah.
And then you talked about going to Japan.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, that's still something I really want to do. I don't specifically want to go to Tokyo because I feel like that's too European.
Too mainstream.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see what else is there.
Yeah. Well, what interests you specifically about Japan?
Well, I think it's mainly because my parents also have a lot of working relationships with people from Japan. So we've had people from Japan visit our place for a couple of weeks, and because of that I also went there on holiday. And I don't know, the culture is totally different than it is here. And it's also, when I go to Japan, my parents know people there, so I have a backup plan. So if something completely goes totally wrong, I can still go to people who are somewhat in the area, at least in the same country. So yeah, I don't know, I just feel the people there they don't speak English for shit, but they're really nice and always willing to help you. And some things I've experienced there are really interested me in how the people work. So yeah.
Well,
I feel it totally doesn't make sense, and my sentences aren't formed correctly, but to me it's total logic.
I can understand you. I've been dealing with the last year and a half with people who can't speak English, so you're doing better than the majority of people, so you're fine. Okay, I had a question for you that I thought would be interesting.
Okay.
Do you have anything regret, or do you have a regret before you went to study or started studying? And do you have a regret while you studied? Is there something that you regret that you did during the study.
Is there like any aspect that is in, or?
No, just like when you think about something that you regret, you're just like, fuck, like why the fuck did I do that? Like.
I honestly don't really know. I always really think my damn. I always really think my decisions through most of the time. So I don't have any big things that I regret that I could think of right now. Of course, I have some little things that at the moment seemed really big.
Yeah.
But if I look back at it, of course I've done some shit that I wouldn't do again. But I don't really think there's like a massive, huge, life-changing decision I've made that I regret.
Okay.
How about you?
Well, for the college part, simple answer is Croatia. Like I really wish I hadn't done Croatia the way I'd done it. I wish I'd done it a little bit different because I know I would have enjoyed it a lot more, and I would have also gotten a lot more out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Before. Wow, that is a fucking hard question. It's so stupid.
You started it.
Yeah, I know. I know. Before? Nah, you can't really regret anything when you're a child, though, can you? Because you have no fucking idea what you're doing.
True. Or you're like too influenced by others to like actually have your own mind, so...
Yeah, like you like everything that you do wrong, a lot of it's not your fault in a way. Like, I mean, still you fuck up, right? Like, you still have to learn from it, but...
You did it, but other people influence you so much that it's not really you that did it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. But now you mentioned Croatia, though, one thing I would have... Not that I actually, like, regret, but one thing that I would have done differently in, like, the past year of college is to go out a little more. Because I'm, like, pretty much an antisocial person. Like, not really antisocial because I do speak to people a lot, but I don't really go to parties and stuff because, like, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I don't really like being drunk, especially, like, the day after. So I'm like, that doesn't really attract me, so I feel like I should, like, do stuff with people more. It's like meet more new people.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
No, but why, like, I mean, obviously you don't like alcohol, but, like, I mean, last year I get it because you didn't live in the city, so you couldn't really go out. Like, what, did you go, like, do you live in, like, a small town? Or
yeah,
like
I lived in a small town.
Okay, small town. So, like, did you ever... I mean, you probably had, like, a big group of friends there or something, right?
No, I didn't. I always said, like... Oh, that sounds so bad.
No, I don't want to make it... I'm just, like... Because, you know, like, most small town people that you meet, they always have, like, you know, like, the
big friend group, you know, the typical thing. Yeah, I had my volleyball team, which I really got along with them, but they weren't, like, actually my friends. I really liked them, and during, like, volleyball, it was so nice, but apart from that, I wouldn't really talk to them that much. And apart from that, like, in my hometown, I never really connected with the people who lived there. So I made most of my friends in high school, and they lived, like, all over the place. So they also didn't really know each other. So I didn't have, like, one big friend group, but I had, like, friends everywhere. You know?
Okay. Yeah, like, so I saw, like, on your Instagram, like, you always have, like, a friend. Is that a friend that you always, like, hang out with? Like, is she from your hometown?
Who?
I don't know. You post pictures of, like, this girl. Like, there's, like, you and this girl. You guys, like, always both smiling and shit. Like,
I think that was, like, mostly last week.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm just, like, my brain just saw that a lot. It was like, yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah, no, that's Sita. She's a friend of mine. I met her, I think, a little over a year ago because my neighbor, who was a really good friend of mine, I don't really speak to her that often anymore, but I still like her. But she was friends with Sita through high school, and on her birthday party last year we met and then, like, just started hanging out.
Okay.
And, well, we went to Barcelona together last week, so...
Do you have any, how do you say it? Do you have any, like, good friends here? Like, in the city? Like, do you consider you have a good friend?
In the city in Leeuwarden? I'd say Ariana would be my best friend, like, in Leeuwarden right now, but apart from that, I feel like they're all still from high school. I mean, I like a lot of people here, but they're not like, oh, you're my best friend. If I have a big problem, I'd go to you, you know?
Yeah, okay. I kind of have the same thing with people here. Like, there's like a couple of people here that like I would consider really close friends, as well as the fact that like I don't really like, we don't have family, or the group of friends is like, we don't have family here, so it's like the only people you hang out with are like those people, so they're like in a sense your family. So it's like you kind of, I don't know.
Also your social contact you get, because with your parents, they're always around you. And it's also some sort of social being, I guess.
What do you mean?
I don't really know what I mean. How do you explain that? When you're alone all the time, you at some point feel really isolated and actually alone. But when you're with your parents, you're like not that alone. You can still be on your own with your parents, but you're not isolated alone anymore.
Yeah, it's like there's a sense that there's someone there, even though you might not hang out with your parents a lot. Like, you still kind of get a feeling that you're hanging out with them.
Exactly.
Okay. But like how do you say? Like, I also have gone to a lot less parties. Because, like, the beginning of last year, like the first 3 months, I partied a lot. I got really drunk a lot and stuff like that. There was also like a 4-month period. I had these like a group of friends. I was probably there almost like 8 or 12 hours a day, smoking weed like every day for like 4 months. And like, I think right before, I think it was the beginning of this year or the end of last year was when I decided to stop hanging out with them, because it was getting to like a ridiculous point, as well as the fact that they were all from a different study, and I was like losing contact with people from our study.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, that seems stupid, because they were like, the group of friends that I had at the current time, like, they were chill, but I'm like, we're not moving in the same or similar direction, right? Like, they're doing something else, I'm doing something else, and I don't know any of the people, or I'm not trying to hang out with any of the people that are following my direction. So I was like, I need to fucking change that. So I changed it. So,
well, that's good, right? I mean, if you want to change it, then you should.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Okay.
Any more interesting questions?
Wait, hold on. How far are we in? We're 22 minutes in. Oh, it's not bad.
Okay.
Do you want this to be like a certain time, or
I have like no clue. As I said, I've never done this before, so I don't like.
Okay.
It's whatever.
Okay, then I have 3 more things that we can like, or topics that I kind of wrote down we can talk about. What we can go in. Okay, where do you consume most of your entertainment? Because how do you say? You say that. Okay, that you don't hang out with many people, right?
I hang out with people from my high school, but I don't really hang out with people like from this school.
No. Okay. Maybe, but okay, never mind. Let's back it up. Back to the original question. Where do you like? What entertains you? Like when you're by yourself and like you're sitting at home, what are you doing most of the time to like entertain yourself?
I watch a lot of Netflix.
Netflix?
Not gonna lie, it's great.
What are your favorite shows?
Lucifer.
Okay.
Sense8, it's like really weird but so good.
I've seen both of them, yeah.
They're so nice. I watched How to Get Away with Murder, but that one's finished, so sad me. And I have like a couple of others that I also want to watch but haven't really found the time to. But apart from that, like, I think a lot about a lot of things. I can just like sit on my own and like have some chill music on and just like, it can be a couple of hours. I can just think about like literally anything. But I kind of enjoy that, because then you like reevaluate what you're doing with your life. It sounds so deep. It's more deep than it seems to me, but I kind of enjoy that.
No, I know what you mean. I do similar things. I consider it almost like meditation in a sense, because like I've done some research on it, but like the like the mind, the things that you think in your head, right? That's like your subconscious, and then you have your conscious, which are things that you say and act out, right?
Yeah.
So the things that you think and are in your head, they're not always the same as what you actually do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can translate your inner thoughts into your outer thoughts, as well as into actions, then your inner thoughts, again, it's like a cycle. Like it like boosts it. So if it's like, if you think negatively,
mm-hmm.
your outer thoughts are negative and your actions are negative.
Yeah.
And then they'll continuously be shittier and shittier and shittier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with positivity. So I've had to work a lot on that as well, because like in high school, how do you say it? Like I didn't have many friends in high school, like
mm-hmm.
barely any. So
it kind of surprises me because you're like such a social person. Like what I've seen of you here, you're like really chill around people. And I feel like you meet people easily. But I don't know if that's like the way you want to show yourself.
Well, so like in high school, I didn't have many friends, right? So mm-hmm. in senior year, I already had known this for a while, but like I kind of had the realization of just like it's really up to me. Like I was very quiet as well, like,
mm-hmm.
which I still am pretty quiet.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, but I realized that if you're like if you want to do something, and you're quiet, then you can't communicate what you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. Or you can't influence other people how if you want them to do something or if you just want to help them.
Yeah.
So I spent like, I would probably say, this is beginning of senior year, I probably spent a full 16 months purely focusing on how I approach people and how I talk to them, because mm-hmm. it's a big thing. Like you say that I'm easy to, what do you say?
Well, I feel like you talk to people easily, but that's how you come across to me.
Yeah, that's how I come across to you.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
But a lot of people, like, for example, Ahmed, my Egyptian friend, he always makes fun of me. He's like, "You're a racist." Because like I come like my most of the time my initial, how do you say, presence is very blunt. Like I just if there's a room full of people, I just like open the door really loudly and just walk in. Like that's kind of my technique of conversation. Mm-hmm. But it's like once I'm in the room, like I can, like once I'm in a conversation, I know how to guide it, because I also recognize like when I was trying to be better at talking with people, mm-hmm. the biggest thing was not to make yourself feel comfortable, but to make the other person feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Because as soon as the other person becomes less tense, then you become less tense. So that's, how do you say, something I worked on. And mm-hmm. even though I'm still a little bit out there, I'm working on it. So I'm trying to bring my way down. But you, how do you say, you're quiet. Like you don't.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't really have like a reason why. I feel like my best way of meeting new people is just like to come in very subtly and then like talk to people like a little bit by little bit, and just like build a connection, but like very slowly. Because I once got a comment, I had a year in high school, and a friend of mine who I knew before we got into the class, at the end of the year she talked to me and she was like, in the beginning of the year you were like really quiet and you were like not talking to anyone, but like during the year you met like a lot of people, and at the end of the year she called me like a popular girl. I was like, what? No, I just like I get along with everyone in the room, you know? Yeah. But that's like, I feel like that's a very subtle way of meeting people. Yeah. And I kind of like the way that's happening. That like almost used to be me. Like I remember in my second to last year, so 11th grade, my 11th grade of high school, my 11th, what you know what I mean? A couple years ago. Yeah. I was sitting in the class, and like 3 rows next to me there were like 2 guys, 2 girls, and I think one
there was like a couple in there, but then the other two were just the friends of the couple.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like psychology class, and we were like I wouldn't say much because I didn't know a lot of the people in the class, but like we would talk every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And like we didn't like hang out or anything, but like fast forward like a year and a half later, I was like hanging out with him. Like it started off really, really slowly, and I did that with other people as well, because another thing is like an important thing I find is that you have to like genuinely be interested in another person's things that they're interested in, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then first off, you're not going to get the other person to talk, which they don't enjoy because that's uncomfortable. But second, then you as well, you learn more. Like you learn a lot more on not only how that person views the world, but it also helps shape your view on the world. So how you can interpret things and keep things in mind, because like you have your general way of acting, and then you kind of have like your side ideas that like you kind of want like that's how you kind of want to act, but like so you slowly just like there's always like whenever you're doing something, there's always like a thought that pops up into your head, and that normally pops up and is like, yeah, this is how you do this. So if you talk to other people and learn how they view the world and the things that make them motivated to do things, then you can take that and you can put it into your own thinking. And then when you do something, you can think back to, oh, like Johnny did this shit, I should also do this shit. Or Johnny did that shit, I'm not going to do that shit.
Exactly. But that's also, I find it very interesting to like have an actual conversation with people. And that might also be the reasons why I don't really enjoy partying a lot, because I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of it. Because I don't like actually learn anything from it, which is also a reason why I really like listening to your podcast. But because I feel like they're like different opinions, and I can see like how do they align with mine or do they not, and how do I feel about that, and what can I gain from it. Like that's what, yeah.
Yeah, I know. What did you learn anything?
I'm not sure if I can actually say learn or like actually remember exactly what you said that I thought, oh, that's interesting. But like in general, when I'm listening to it, I feel like, oh, that's like an interesting topic. I'm interested to see how they feel about that.
You're engaged in the conversation,
yeah.
Which is okay. Because I like for the partying thing, that's also another like that's I also don't go to parties anymore for that main reason, because I would go there and you start talking to people and like at first you're kind of sober, so the conversation is like decent and people are willing to talk, and then at a certain point in the night you're like really, or at least for me, I would be really drunk and you would be talking with people and I'd be like, I don't even have like a word in my brain that I can use right now for you. So it just didn't work. And then clubs are fucking shit. I fucking hate the clubs. Clubs are so fucking god awful. The music is shit, which I mentioned in the last podcast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get why people go there, but that's their thing. It's not mine. Like,
exactly.
I'm not going to concern myself with that, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I have that too. Okay.
Another question, because we were talking about entertainment, which I don't know where the fuck we went, but we'll just move on from that. Influences. Like what do you consider influence? Like who influences you, or what can either be one.
Who influences me? I think everyone influences everyone.
Okay, well that's very fucking broad. I mean, like.
Yeah, but in a different extent, of course. But for example, you do your podcast, and I never expected that. We're good? Okay.
We're good.
But you do your podcast, and I never expected that to influence me, but like, here I am, you know? So like, even though you do like very small things, it can influence people in like a very different way than you expect it to.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of what I hoped, at least.
Yeah.
Because like, I do the podcast, and I know like, it doesn't really mean shit, but it's just more of like it's like what you give is what you get kind of thing. It's like as long as you put something out into the world, you're bound to get something. For example, now we're talking, so
Yeah.
But like you don't have like a specific person, like for example, like when you're like on Instagram or Netflix or watching YouTube, like isn't there like a person you, like a celebrity or whatever, or like a sports person that like you think like that's the way they did that is in like I connect with it.
I don't really think so. I feel like everyone's doing everything in their own way. So of course you can take inspirations from others, but in the end you're gonna have to figure out how to do it on your own. So I don't think like looking at other people's things is gonna specifically make you feel what you want to do, because I think you have to figure that out for yourself. Of course it can be an inspiration and you can look at it and be like, oh, that's impressive, but there's not really one person that I think you're like a big influence on me, or I respect you, or of course I respect people, but like not in that kind of way. I do think my family is a big thing for me. I think they influence me, especially my parents, because well obviously I've lived with them. And
do you have any siblings?
no, I don't.
You're a single child.
Yes, I am.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I like for some reason in my head I thought you had like a sister or something.
No, I don't.
Really? Oh wow. Okay.
I lived I've like on my own in there. Yeah. But yeah, it was a big thing for my parents though when I moved out, because like I was the only child.
Yeah,
and then it's like gone.
I mean, for my parents, it wasn't, how do you say, like that intense, because I have a sister who's younger than me, so they're still dealing with her, which I'm so happy about. But for me, they're like, my dad doesn't, he understands it because he also moved, like he's moved like a bunch of times throughout his life to work. Mm-hmm. So for him it's like he sees me doing it and he's like, yeah, like that's what you do. Mm-hmm. And then my mom is similar, but she's my mom, so she's like she doesn't like it.
No, I get that. Yeah, well, I have the luxury of being able to go home whenever I want to. I mean, it's 15 minutes by train, so 15.
Oh, man.
I know you don't have that.
Well, I mean, I could get on a 3-hour train ride to my grandma's place if I wanted to, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, and then... okay, one more thing. And then,
one more thing, okay.
Because I don't want to make it too long as well.
What time are we at right now?
We are at 37 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so the last thing that I thought would be interesting to talk about is what is your goal in retirement? Like if you could picture your life, like you're 65, the government's like, here's your fucking check, you're done, don't work anymore. What is like the thing that you picture or imagine?
The thing that I imagine, I think like not living in a big city. I feel like quiet places fit me better. I also really like the water. I'm not sure if I still want to do like water sports when I'm 65, but you know I really enjoy them now. So
like the ocean, or do you prefer like fresh water, like lakes and stuff like that?
I think I prefer the ocean.
Okay, like a beach girl. Okay.
What do you prefer?
Like water, bodies of water.
What?
What do you mean?
Like ocean or like...
Oh. Fuck. I actually don't know. I would say ocean.
Why?
For the creatures that live in it. Like there are some weird fucking animals and like we don't even know all the animals, which is even weirder. Like they're like have you seen the blobfish?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. You'll also have like invisible fish down in like the deep or like clear, like see-through. Mm-hmm. You have the anglefish, right? Is that what you call it? Like
I have no idea.
You know, like you've seen Nemo, right?
Yeah.
You know the fish that has like the light bulb and in front of him, like it comes.
Yeah, those are weird.
Yeah, but like if you just think about it, right? Like obviously you have evolution and shit, and like each animal works off of the other animal trying to like survive and shit. But how the fuck do you get like a fish whose head is half the size of its body, who has teeth that are extremely long, and then somehow has a biological light hanging in the front of its face?
Yeah, that's so weird.
I think that's so weird. Then
but also so interesting.
Yeah.
Because how did that happen?
Well, you also have creatures at the bottom of the ocean who don't use oxygen. They use carbon dioxide. They use...
No idea, something else.
So like, you know how like we breathe oxygen?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
That's interesting.
Like they have a different respiratory system. So I'm like, it's like a good representation of how the world works in a sense. It's like everything that you think you know is bullshit because it's only set that way. Yeah. Like it's only there, and you're only looking at what's there. You're not looking at what's not there. Mm-hmm. So I like the ocean.
Me too. But yeah, me at 65. I'm not sure if this is like a goal that I want to have for when I'm like 65 and old, but I kind of want to like adopt cats or like dogs. I think cats, but not specifically like young cats, but the one that like no one wants because they have like a disability or something, or just they miss a paw or are about to die in like a couple of months, but you know, you want to give them a good home. And I feel like that's a better thing to do than to be like, oh my god, it's such a cute kitten. Yeah, I know it's cute, but other animals also need to have a chance of like a good life. So I feel like that's something I want to do.
It's interesting. My mom runs like a dog care. Like what she does is she has clients and she like walks dogs for them. But sometimes like they go out of town, so they drop off the dog like at our house. Mm-hmm. So they like we'll have like sometimes I think the most dogs we've ever had is like 3 or 4. So you just have like random people's dogs in your house, and some of them are chill. Like it's really weird because you see a wide range of dogs. Because like everyone thinks their dog is amazing,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course, because it's their dog.
But when you're the person taking care of people's dogs, you see how you see the difference between good dogs and bad dogs, and like dogs that are annoying or dogs that aren't annoying, or dogs that are stupid or dogs that aren't stupid. So yeah, that'll be interesting to do, I guess. Similar thing to that.
Yeah.
For me, I would, I don't know. Because I have like 2 visions. I have like the ambitious vision of like if I went all out in my life, like what could I do? Mm-hmm. Like I kind of have that picture. And then I also have like the picture in my head of just like, yeah, like I kind of get to where I want, but I don't push it all the way. But like it would be of my own choosing, you know? Because like, have you ever read the book Why Cafe?
No.
There's a story in the book about a fisherman and a businessman. Mm-hmm. And basically the businessman sees an older guy sitting on a dock and fishing.
Yeah.
And he walks up to the guy and he starts asking him questions. And the fisherman catches a couple of fish, and the businessman goes, "Wow, you're a really good fisherman." He's like, "You should start like a company." And the fisherman's like, "Why would I want to do that?" And then the businessman is like, "Well, you can catch more fish, and then you can get a boat, and then you can hire people, and then you can get more boats." And then the fisherman looks at him and is like, "Yeah, but I only need like a couple of fish a day. Like I have a family, and like they only need this. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy with what I have, so I don't need to be as ambitious as, for example, you, the businessman." Mm-hmm. And then the businessman's like, "That's a bit weird," but he also understands like that people put importance on being ambitious, which is something I want to be ambitious, of course. Like I think that's fun, but I also want to make sure like it's a balance, right? You want to make sure that you're also doing things for yourself and that you're enjoying life the way that you want to fully enjoy it. Because No one else can tell you how to enjoy it. So.
No, of course, it's your own opinion, and if you like the way you live your life, then go for it, right? Who can tell you what to do? When it comes to happiness for like what you like to do in life.
What?
When it comes to happiness for what you like to do in life.
What would I like to do in life?
Not really my question, but go ahead.
Well, sorry, you have to... I didn't understand you, I'm sorry.
Well, you said like some people can like tell you what to do, but I feel like if you know for yourself what makes you happy and what you really want to do, then you can achieve that. And I think no one can really influence that to a big extent.
Well, I think people can influence you. I think it's your degree on how aware you are of someone influencing you.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, people who I never thought, like, people that, like, I knew at the time, and I'm, like, talking to them, and, like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm not a big fan of them, you know, like, they're not really doing anything, but, like, the things that they say or the things that they do, like, later on, I realized, like, oh, shit, like, some of that stuff was, like, I was unintentionally picking up things that other people were doing, which is fine, because obviously you need to do that. Like, that just happens naturally. You see people and they have a behavior, and sometimes you pick that up. But like, that's also another thing I'm try to be careful of, is how people influence you, right? Because I mean, people influence you. So,
yeah, people.
Which is what you said earlier. But
yeah, people influence you, but can they influence you as much that you don't achieve your own happiness anymore? I think if you're very sensitive, people can influence you like that.
Can or can't?
Can.
Yeah, like if you're a pussy, like if you're a pushover, like no one respects you, then yeah, no one will want to, or well, yeah, no one will want to engage with you, because people don't like when people are boring. So if you're boring,
exactly.
Then no one wants to talk to you. And because no one wants to talk to you, the only thing you can do at that point is try to, well, there's two things. You can either try to be yourself again, or you can be in the ocean of people that is humanity and just ride it out until you die. So
that sounds sad. Unless you're happy with that, of course, but I wouldn't be.
Well, no, I'm not. Definitely not. I hate that. I've already did that for like 6 years of my life. I don't need to do that again, so...
Totally agree. Yeah.
Okay, but do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not specifically.
Not specifically. Okay, well, we are now at 48 minutes, which I think is a decent amount of time.
I think so too.
For a podcast. So, anyways, guys, thank you to Sanne for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. And having this conversation. It was episode 14. I also get paid now by sponsorships, so...
That's nice.
Yeah, I know. It's like a cent. It's like for one play, I get 1 cent or something like that.
I'll play it like 3 times.
Thank God.
I got you.
You're gonna make me 3 cents. Yeah, so... Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening, and until next time, see ya.